Greetings from Cybertron. This is SoundJack here with a review of the Transformers Robots in Disguise Warrior Class Autobot Twinferno. So Twinferno is an interesting character, as he's a character that did not appear in the cartoon or any associated media, except maybe the video game, the mobile video game, probably, but just as a playable character, not any personality given to him or anything. But he still received the toy, and he's a very interesting toy that definitely would not have been able to have been made into anybody else. Also having a very strange alternate mode of basically a stealth bomber with dragon head hands that is just a reuse of the trademark that they have for the Titan's Return version. Maybe they want to get use out of it, or they just had a fun idea and want to roll with it. I don't know, but it's an interesting toy. And I'm going to talk about it right now. So taking a closer look at this, his alternate mode, like I said, stealth bomber, dragon heads. How? And then he also, while this is a very typical stealth bomber section, this bit back here is a little extra to a stealth bomber, and these are just gray sections that stick out, and I'll show this off soon, but this is basically supposed to be the jet engines on this alternate mode. Let's go with that. But taking a more detailed look, you got the dragon head hands. They got the gray on the lower jaw and the neck, gold on the upper, on the head, blue for the eyes, black horns go on here. Most of the body is in red. Some blue highlights picking out the cockpit and just some extra details. A bit of gold going along the wings right there. You got some interesting texture going on the wings right here. Not quite the Soundwave or Rodimus Prime texture, but some very interesting texture nonetheless. You got these spikes coming out of the wings. You got a little bit of unpainted detail here, a little bit more up here, and then you got the gray sections back here with some tiny extra wings, and then the details there. And then underside, you see the back of Twinferno's head, you see his chest, and you see his feet, and you're basically seeing how this is going to transform already, probably. But yeah, he doesn't do much else. He's just a dragon-headed jet thing. No landing gear or anything like that. I guess you can position, move the heads about, have them open their mouths to spit fire, though it feels more like they are supposed to remain stationary in this form, though. Again, if we do want to talk articulation, there's that hinge right there, and then the mouth is able to open that far and look up that far. Not too much movement, but it's a little bit, so you have options for things. For accessories, he does come with these two flame pieces, which are basically mirrors of each other, as you can see. And then on the other side, there's a few gaps to save on plastic costs. These are able to interact with this vehicle in a few places. There are 5mm posts underneath the dragon heads. There are 5mm posts on the flame, so you can stick them in there if you want. That looks weird. It's an option. There's a 5mm hole on the back, so you can store one of the pieces on the back if you want. You are able to stick them in the dragon head hands. There's a square hole in there for the square post in the back of the flame effects. And just do that for fire breathing action, or you can stick them in the holes in the back of the jet, and you have a flame effect going on, making it look like he is in mid-flight, and I just completely mistransformed that section right there, so you can do that. This is basically the default positioning for this alternate mode, just constantly in flight position. It's a nice touch, certainly, especially with the dragon heads having the flame effects for the dragon heads. It's nice that they have a place to be used in the alternate mode as well, so that's certainly nice. But that's pretty much all about Twinferno's alternate mode, so let's get into some size comparisons. So here he is with the Times Return Legends class Bumblebee. And you can see how they scale. The Deluxe class Chrome Dome. And you can see Twinferno's about as long, maybe a touch longer than Chrome Dome, but certainly wider because of that wingspan. Voyager class Megatron. You can see how they scale. And Leader class 6-shot. You can see how they scale. And for lulz, here he is with the Titan's Return Twinferno, if he'll stand. There we are. You can see how they look. And my Twinferno's tail's not staying together. Whoopee! But that is all there is on the alternate mode, so let's roll right along and get to the robot mode. So to do that, first thing we're going to do is we're going to come back here and we are going to untab the legs. There are 2 tabs in the red bits, 1 tab right there, 1 tab right there, that fit into slots right there and right there. So you untab that and then you fold this down on this hinge, straighten everything out, flip the leg out, and then I'll show again from this side. So we'll untab, we'll double untab. Then we just fold the leg down. That will lock in. Flip the foot out. It really just moves half an inch. But you flip the foot out. Then we're going to come up here. We're going to untab. There's a couple of tabs right there that tab into that gap in the neck. What will be the robot arm right there. Untab. Fold that back. Rotate the arms down. Rotate the arms down. Flip this back on the double hinge. Rotate the head around. And there you have Twinferno in his robot mode. And yeah, that's neat. I mean, it's certainly different from the jet mode, but it is still very interesting. Very much a lot of red going on here, though a lot more color comes out in the vehicle mode compared to what you would have expected from just looking at the jet mode, in my opinion. Looking at his head sculpt, he's got an interesting head sculpt. It's predominantly red, a little bit of gold on that crest, a silver face, and a nice blue visor going on there. No nose, because this is the aligned continuity, and they do not have noses. His chest is predominantly red. You got a bit of blue there and there. His stomach is mostly painted in silver. A little bit of a red circle right there, a little bit of red bits right there, a little bit of gold stripy kind of paint there, and the crotch is completely red. Upper legs are completely black, lower legs are completely silver, toes are red with a little bit of gold on them. The arms are the same. The lower arms are the dragon heads we saw in alternate mode. Shoulder pads are in gray, upper arms are in black, and then the shoulder has the special Autobot logo. That is used to scan with the mobile game, if that is still active. I don't even know. But if it works, here's a scan for you. And then you got the wings going on the back here, and then the cockpit sitting on the backpack. For articulation, his head can rotate a full 360 degrees, and that is all it can do. The arms are able to rotate a full 360 degrees, though because of the wings, they have to rotate out to the side a bit to get that full 360 degree rotation. The wings are only able to bend down that far and only able to bend back that far, so you can't get the wings to move any further back at all. So a little bit of limited positioning on the wings, and they kind of latch into place. You can't like really get them to be in like a halfway point between here and here because just how it functions or how it's designed. Besides the shoulder at the arm, they can also bend that far out. There is also a bicep swivel, 360 degrees rotation, elbow bend, 90 degrees of bend there. And the hands are dragon heads, so they open and close like you saw them do in the vehicle mode. Nothing at the waist. Legs can bend that far forward and that far back. Not a whole lot of forward and back movement for Twinferno because the back is limited by that back plate. but they are able to bend that far out to the side. There is a thigh swivel for 360 degrees of rotation there, 90 degrees of bend at the knee, and I guess that's a toe bend, but that's not like really serving any purpose, and I just flipped the toe off. Yeah, there we go. We're good. We're good. It doesn't, like, looking at it, it doesn't, like, line up properly into place, and that's even the same on this one. No, I did not tear off his foot, so it's just weird that, like, it doesn't fold out flat. I feel like they made this tab a little too long, or the gap or the hole it's supposed to go into isn't quite the right shape to allow it to properly extend. So you can get him to balance, but even though he's got big bulky feet and not a whole lot of top heaviness to him, sometimes he does fall back, surprisingly. I have noticed while I've been playing around with him, which is unfortunate. Getting to the flame accessories, best place, obviously. Stick them in his dragon head hands, and you got him breathing fire in his robot mode, which is quite cool, obviously. The other one can still do that too. And again, you also have the 5mm ports underneath if you want him to, instead of breathing fire, wielding some kind of fire sword thing, if you can pose it to make it look like that, because, well, you can get it to go like that, and then you got some kind of fire sword, but then because of how it works, you would have to sacrifice the elbow to have it hold correctly. You do whatever you think looks best for this character, because it's your toy, so you can do what you want with it. Storage. If you flip this up, you still have that 5mm post storage, and these points are still accessible, though obviously that's not going to balance at all. But that is all there is to say on Twinferno in his robot mode, so let's get on to some robot mode size comparisons. Here he is next to Legends class Bumblebee. And you can see Bumblebee comes up to about the top of that circle on his chest. Deluxe class Chrome Dome, and Chrome Dome is a little bit taller than him at the head. We have Voyager class Megatron. And you can see Twinferno's kind of about there. Yeah, right about there on Megatron's chest. Leader class 6-shot. And the camera has to go up. And you can see he gets to a little bit like halfway up the skirt panel there. Here he is, of course, next to the channel's mascots, Soundwave and Wheeljack. I had them posed for different things, so they're not completely in their default poses. So, whoops-a-daisy to that. But you can still see how he looks next to them. The camera lowered a little bit. And here he is next to Titan's Return Twinferno. So you can see how they work. Well, if you want same articulation, this is the way to pose that Twinferno. Same elbow articulation at the very least. Though, yeah. Oh yeah. So overall, Twinferno is a strange character, certainly, and very odd choice, odd design, odd alternate mode. But you know, he's kind of, if he fits a bunch of your if he fits, sorry, if this appeals to you, I'd recommend getting it up. It's a very nice, neat, interesting toy. I could understand it being a little out there and not being quite up to par. I mean, the articulation's not bad on this toy. The dragon heads are cool. The alternate mode is just weird, but maybe you'll find it like weird in a very interesting way that it's so unique you gotta have it kind of a way. But he's neat. The more I've played with him, the more I've gotten to enjoy him. But that's just me. So that's all I have to say on Autobot Twinferno, so thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SoundJack426. Also, please consider donating on my Patreon page to help support the channel. All of the links will be in the description below. Thanks for tuning in. This is SoundJack's signing off.